Rockstars, Eric Andres, your guitar sage here, and today we're going to be talking about the top 8 killer Iron Maiden riffs. That's right, these are the top 8 scientifically proven by me. That's right. You're going to have a blast at this. We're going to learn all sorts of great techniques and what have you, and I have tab available for you. All right, so without further ado, let's get in. Fly to Vicarius. This is the first song we all heard that got us really into Iron Maiden, right? It's my first tune. Love this one. In the key of F sharp minor, starting off with a power chord, and then an E power chord, and then to our F sharp minor power chord. Now, the fun thing about this one is after you get those 2 big open chords there, those 2 big power chords in the beginning, now we have that nice chunky metal sound. You got to have that thump coming from your speaker, muting with the picking hand. You don't need a ton of distortion for this, not a ton of overdrive, but just enough. I mean, you can hear my guitar if I'm picking softly here, not a ton of overdrive. If I dig into the strings, then we get that, right? So make sure that your picking hand is muting those strings. If it's to this, you choke too much up on the strings. And if it's this, still not bad, but a little too open. So just put your hand right in the sweet spot. Use your ear to tell you. Here's the tab. Flash of the Blade. Whoa, this is a super cool tune off of Power Slave. The riff that you're going to be looking at, or the tab that you're going to be looking at, is what I'm showing you here with the exception of one extra note added. It's a variation. So basically for this one, what I do is I tuck my fingers underneath any of the strings that I'm not using. So strings 1, 2, and 3 are being muted. My whole hand is muting the entire guitar except for the one string that needs to be playing, which is the D string, right? And in this case here, you're going to pick ba, and hit the note, and then pull off. So each time, ba-dum, 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 is a pick, 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 pick. So like pick, pick, added with a pull off, right? So the basic riff is, and again, if you're not muting these other notes, there's going to be problems, right? So you just want to get that technique down first, and then speed it up slowly. So in this case here, we have 7, 8, and 10 on the D string. Now later on, you'll hear it, use your ear, but it goes 7, 8, and then 5. Easy enough, right? Here's the tab. "2 Minutes to Midnight," another one off of Power Slave, killer tune here that utilizes a pedaling A string, and then we're using double stops on strings 3 and 4, or the D and G strings. So if you don't know what double stops are, basically it's like a mini chord. We're just playing 2 notes at a time, and in this case here, they're both on the same fret each time. And the frets that we're going to be pressing are 5, 7, and 2. 5, 7, and 2 while we're pedaling that A string. So nice and slow, it's going to sound like this. Okay, so you can notice we're pedaling that A string a lot. Okay, so 5/5 on those two middle strings, 7/7, and 2/2. Easy enough. And when we come to the one on 7, the second time around, or the third time that we hit it, actually, we're going to give it a little bit of a shake. And I think I'm even hearing that B string come in there sometimes, okay? It's rock and roll. So like if you hit another string, it's aight, okay? So again, nice and slow. Then the riff starts over. Here's the tab. Wasted Years from Somewhere in Time. This was a amazing album. Gosh, I remember this in high school, this coming out and just being like, oh, futuristic Iron Maiden album. Super cool riff here. This was, actually, I did this on another recent video talking about how to play fast without actually being fast. One of the techniques is using open strings. So guitar players have known about this for forever. Something you should know about as well if you don't already. But pedaling on this first string is what's going on here. Pedaling is when we repeat a note over and over again. You've heard it with stuff like this, where we have a note that repeats itself. That sort of thing. And in this case here, we have an open note repeating itself all the time. Right? So we have this happening a lot. Okay, so the pattern is this. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. We got 12, 7, 8, 5, 7, 3, 5 again, and then 2, 3. Easy enough. Now, a couple things that I want you to think about on this is obviously you want to take this nice and slow first. Just get it down. You want to keep this hand going. Conversely, you could give a little bit of space, like... you leave a little space after the accent note. You don't have to do that. Either way, it's going to sound pretty close to the same. You want to mute any of the strings you're not using, so I just have my hand across strings 6 through 2. 6 through 2. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. And 1 is the only string that's ringing out. Do this nice and slow, alternate picking. And then build it up to speed. Take your time with it. All right, here's the tab. Uh-oh, Number of the Beast from the album Number of the Beast. This song scared me as a young teen, but I was intrigued. Later to find out that Iron Maiden is not satanic at all. They just writing goofy songs about rock and roll and what have you. Anyhow, Number of the Beast. This was a scary one, right? Remember this riff? Jeez. Number one, it's I believe it's in 5. I'm just guessing that. I haven't tried to figure it out, the timing. I just have it down since I was a kid. And really having the timing down, usually with this sort of thing, you're just going to get it. But I've seen it written as it's in 4 and 6, but essentially, I think it's in 5. Doesn't matter. You can let me know in the comments what you think. This riff is pretty cool because basically, in essence, the riff changes keys in between here, going back and forth. Essentially, that's what's going on. And we got this funky timing. So let's take a look at this. We're just on strings 5 and 4. We're doing a lot of right hand muting or you know, palm muting with our picking hand. You've got your hand in this position, so 4th position, first finger's behind the 4th fret. Again, strings 4 and 5, and so the first finger is going on fret 4, second finger is going on fret 5, and that this is fret 4 of the D string and fret 5 of the A string. And so if you just think about that, you're going to bar this and use your pinky. This is your pedal note, okay? This 5th fret of the A string. It's a pedal note. So essentially we're going. If you get that down, then you'll know where the notes are. So first finger, second finger, like this. And then when we change keys. So the riff goes like this. So there's a note going on at all times, right? If you're doing alternate picking. You don't have to, you could do it all downstrokes. Whatever pleases you. I do it alternate picking, it's just less work. And the riff is identical, so you do it a few times up here. Now here, 2 times up here, 3rd time down here, but halfway through it, you bring it up, okay? The tabs are gonna help a lot on this one. You'd like them, wouldn't you? Sure you would. Here it is. Run to the Hills. This is a great one, and we're utilizing some double stops here and some bends. This is all on strings 1 and 2. I lie. The first part of the lick is on 1 and 2. The second part of the lick is on strings 2 and 3. I love licks like this that take on a motif, something new that you can learn. A motif is a musical idea. And this is a great one here. Really cool. Guitar players use this all the time when they're soloing. And essentially what we're doing is we're hitting a note. In this case here, the very first note is an E. And then this note is a D. But we're bending up to the E. And it creates this really dissonant sound. Pretty cool. Then when you combine that with a faster bend and a little bit of vibrato, we get a lot of tension there. So essentially what you're doing is you're starting off on that D note here. This is on the E, and you're bending this up a whole step. It's a great blues bit. Right? So we're using that here for Run to the Hills on each one of these notes. And basically you're using this the same way across strings 1 and 2. So anywhere that you go, the lamb will sure to go. The lamb being your index finger here. It will follow just like whatever you do. So if we're here, separated by 2 frets, then when you come down here, separated by 2 frets, when we come down here, separated by 2 frets, right? You can see that. And then when we're on strings 2 and 3, we're separated by 1 fret. We'll get to that in just a second. So here we go. The first one you're going to choke. So, right? Actually, both of them. For this second, you're going to bend the note up as per usual, but give it a little bit of vibrato. Now go in reverse. And then you do that same riff down here. And then the same thing on strings 2 and 3, but in this case here, we're in the same position, but remember when we're on strings 2 and 3, we're pulling our ring finger back one. That's because of the tuning of the guitar. So again, here we go. The tab will help you. Here it is. The Trooper, right? This is the best Maiden song in the history of ever. We all love this one. It's in the key of E minor. We've got this super killer riff in the beginning that's done on strings 4, 5, and 6. It goes something like this. So you're gonna pull off one of those notes. Remember that because it's similar walking down. Which is the same riff down a whole step. And then, right? So nice and slow. And then the turnaround is, and so basically this is the 5th fret on strings 5 and 4. Right, and then we're into the gallop. We're not getting to that. Here's the tab. Hallowed be thy name. Oh, this is a super cool one, right? That riff in the beginning. It's in the key of E minor. And in this case here, we're using strings 2 and 5 to represent the 3 and the 5 of the chord, if that means anything to you. If it doesn't, it's okay. It doesn't have to. But essentially here, this is an E minor, and we're representing some chords here. In this case, the very first note there is representing an E minor chord. The way I used to play this as a kid, because I was hearing both of the notes, was but in fact they play it like that sort of thing. How do I know that? Because I saw them live and was like, oh, I got it wrong. Okay, but nonetheless, here you go. So these two notes, basically we're grabbing the octave of this guy and bringing it down. So again, this is all on strings 2 and 5. You're going to use the tab for this, so there's no need for me to tell you all the frets here. But essentially, we're starting off here in the 9th position, okay? So I'm going to play it nice and slow because you got the tab, but it's going to go like this. Now, I'm playing this with fingers 2 and 4. You play it with whatever 2 fingers you want, and you can shift as well. But there is this, you'll notice, like, for instance, this is you know, a space. There's this 1 fret space in between here. But for the second one, there's not. For the third one, there's not. For the fourth one, there is. For the fifth one, you know, there is, and so on. So that being said, it's not a big deal because you just shift. But there is this. So in this case here, this pinky comes up 1 fret, whereas this finger comes up 2 frets. And back. That may take a little getting used to there for you. So nice and slow. back. And of course we have that big low bell there. I used to think they were hitting that low E string, and you could technically, but if you bump into it, it's going to make it sound not very well, not very good. So like I bumped it there. So you may not want to do that. Have your other guitar player play that part. All right, here's the tab. My friends, that is it. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, you know what to do. Thumbs up, subscribe, notification bell, all videos, all the time, you know, all that good stuff. Leave your comments below. Let me know what you liked about this video, what you didn't like about this video, all the rest. What songs did I miss? I know there's a bunch of amazing Maiden songs that I missed. Hey, would you like to learn guitar from me? Because I have a course for you today for free. The very first link below. We've had over 500,000 people go through this. Whether you're playing heavy metal, rock, blues, jazz, I don't care what it is, you still gotta know certain things. I've taught tens of thousands of students over decades now, and I wanna help you with this proven method. Check it out below. It's called the Unstoppable Guitar System Standard, and it's yours for free. Or visit me here in Nashville. We'll do the same thing, and it'll cost well over $1,000. Or click on the link, because it's free. Friends, I'm here to help you. Please let me know how I can do that with those comments below. As always, be kind to all beings. Do the right things as always. Practice your guitar. I'll see you in the next video.